Hey Jiu-Jitsu friends, it's Ryan Young, KamaJiuJitsu, and I am in sunny Southern California, Trabuco Canyon to be exact, which is where I like to spend my time when I am in Southern California. And for many of you, you know that we have campuses that are both in Texas and in California, and what we like to do is we like to kind of switch our information back and forth or exchange. So what I do is I make it a point to come out and visit Professor Dave every, 2-3 times, maybe 4 times a year sometimes. And Dave will also do the same and come and visit us in Texas. So he comes in about 3-4 times a year. And right now I'm just kind of on a walk and got a little pond here, and it's actually very beautiful here. Not quite as hot as it is in Texas at this time of year, but still pretty warm because it is middle of the summer. So I just got back from finishing a little mini seminar. Rather, I taught class over at Americana Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Fitness, which is run by Fabio Santos black belt named Tony Bruno. Great guy. If you're ever in Yuma, Arizona, go and make it out there. It's a great school, great people there. And they are really stressing the self-defense part of jiu-jitsu when teaching their students. So I also watched Professor Tony teach a kids class, and he went through a lot of self-defense like we do at KamaJiuJitsu. Well, anyway, what this video is about the importance of keeping your skills sharp. Now it's kind of, I don't know, how do you say it? Tempting to just get to the point of your black belt and think to yourself, well, I don't need to do any more. I've already reached a black belt. But truth be told, I didn't really start learning until I got my black belt. So, the thing is, it's almost like your mind opens up, because for the longest time, you're focused on getting your black belt. Because, I wasn't really focused on getting it, but it was something that was always in the back of my mind. I thought, someday I'll get it. But now that I've gotten it, the pressure's off, and it comes down to making sure your skills are sharp, because you want to make sure that your students have access to the best knowledge that you can possibly give, which is why Professor Tony was nice enough to let me come in and teach a class for him. So we didn't do a full seminar. Rather, I just kind of stepped in and was a substitute teacher for him. So at KamaJiuJitsu, we'll get Professor Dave to come in all the time, 2-3 times a year, and I'll do the same thing when I come to California as well. And one of the things that we need to do is not necessarily to learn new things, but sometimes if we're heavy into the basics like we are at KamaJiuJitsu, is to find a way to make it a little more efficient. So let's say I'm at about 80%, 85% in my execution of the technique, but there's still some kind of situation where I don't quite get the result that I'm looking for, but I'm pretty darn close. Well, yesterday rather, in class, Professor Dave went over with me some adjustments to what we call cross-side 2 to make it closer to unbeatable, as well as what we call guard pass 2, some adjustments to guard pass 1 and guard pass 2. And really, guard pass 1 is just that traditional guard pass that you see in the old videos with Elio Gracie doing, the arm under to the cross collar to the pass. And it's the pass that, a lot of people, sorry, I'm just kind of turning around here, that a lot of people, they learn as a white belt. And once they get their blue belt, they think to themselves, that's the fundamental, that's the basic stuff, that it's no longer good. It doesn't work on anybody who's blue belt and above. Well, that is not true. And we use these on everybody. And I know that I've used them on black belts, and it's worked like a charm. And I know Professor Dave and Master Hickson do the same thing. It's not having to learn the most recent and the latest and the greatest technique. Oftentimes, it just really comes down to being able to execute the basics, but at an unbeatable level. And really, when you think about it, that's what Master Rickson does with everybody, as does Professor Dave. And that's what I try to do. You know, I'm in no way at the level of Professor Dave or Master Rickson. Hopefully I get there. It's going to take a while. But you know, the thing is that I'm always trying to perfect what I already know. And more often than not, perfecting what you know is a much better solution than to actually finding a new technique. Because you have to trust in the jiu-jitsu. And a lot of jiu-jitsu today is new stuff that wasn't around 20, 30 years ago. What Professor Dave teaches at his KamaJiuJitsu schools is to take the existing techniques that Master Rickson showed him and, number one, try to get it to the level that Master Rickson has. But if it doesn't, if you don't get it to that level, then try harder to get it to that level. It's not that it won't work. If you can't make it work, that's not to say the technique is trash. You need to find something else. That seems to be a lot of what I hear when people say, hey, teach me something new. Well, I know what they mean. When they're saying, teach me something new, that means teach me another guard pass because this one isn't working. When in reality, what I should be teaching them is the next step in how to do that guard pass more efficiently. One where maybe if I shift my weight here instead of there, maybe I put it on my left hip instead of my right hip, maybe if I move myself out a few inches, that sometimes makes all the difference in the world. And here at KamaJiuJitsu, we're refining those little angles and little places to put your weight, only because that's what Master Rickson has done. Now, getting in front of Master Rickson to get that information sometimes can be a little bit of a challenge. Thankfully, Professor Dave is here in Southern California, and he pretty much has access to Master Rickson anytime he wants. And when I'm here in Southern California, I stay with Professor Dave, and I have all the access I want and need with him as well. So I'll be taking back this information to our Texas academies to go over with them and show them and tighten up what we already do. So try to get them and me up to that 100% that we need to be at. So anyway, if there's any desire in your part to expand on the basics, because really the basics is where it's at, and if you can get your basics to be as close to perfect as possible, our belief is that you don't really need all the extra stuff. The alternative techniques, the techniques that you would use in place of what your basics should be. So the easiest way is, if you can get access to Master Rickson, by all means do it. If you can't, you have access to Professor Dave, or to me, myself, Ryan Young, or to our other black belts, Professor Fernando and Professor Jack Toffer. And we'd be happy to come out and teach a class for you, or if you want to go the seminar route, we can do that too. And we guarantee that there will be details that we will show you that would help you make a difference in what you're doing. You know, a friend of mine out in Guam, a black belt out in Guam, mentioned what we do, and he called it white belt techniques, but with black belt execution. And really, that is the best way that I've heard it described. As an example, when you train with a Professor Dave, or somebody like Professor Dave, he will beat you with something that you've seen. It's not that you've never seen it before. You have seen it before, but for some reason, it feels a whole lot different. He's a lot heavier, or the angle is such that you don't feel any weight, but you still are immobilized. And that is, excuse me, here I'm switching hand here. That is really the goal of having efficient jiu-jitsu, such as that Master Rickson does. And there's no speed involved. In fact, it can be done slow as a sloth, and really there's not much you can do about it. And that's really, at least at KamaJiuJitsu, that is our goal for having the best jiu-jitsu. And with Rickson trying to take care of his legacy now with the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation, or rather the JJGF, we're helping him do that the best that we can, and the easiest way to do it is to just spread his jiu-jitsu. So let us help you, and help us to spread it. So same message that I've been posting for the last month, and I'll continue to give you some updates here and there as far as what we're looking to do and how we're looking to do it. We can always use help, and let us know how we can help you or how you can help us. Best way to reach us is through one of our 3 Facebook pages. They are KamaJiuJitsu on Facebook, KamaJiuJitsu Dallas Fort Worth, or BJJ Professor. You can also reach us by email at KamaJiuJitsu, that's KAMA Jiu-Jitsu @gmail.com. You can also give us a call, 682-233-0721. That's 682-233-0721. And let us know how we can help you. In the meantime, try to be injury-free, relax, have fun with it. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.